is that the, the big, like it or not, the big city, and you should like it because it's what drives the economic development. The big city of a state is the real engine of the economy. And that is, with love and respect to all the folks from the western side of the state, northern side of the state, and so forth, and there's lots going on there too, especially in Grand Rapids and the western side of the state. With respect to all of those folks, it is the case here in the state of Michigan that Detroit drives the economy. Detroit and Metro Detroit, but even the city of Detroit. The Metro Detroit drives the Michigan economy. I really am getting to your question, because here's the thing. The U.S. Census, their community population studies, CPS, that must be what it is, or surveys, community population surveys, came out about a week or so ago, the 2009 data. Detroit has the lowest percentage of college graduates of any major city in the among major cities. Detroit has the lowest percentage graduates of college graduates of any major city in the United States. It's something like 12%. Washington, D.C. has the highest percentage with all the government jobs and research and such. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you can find it if you put CPS and census and something up. It's over half. It's something like 54%. And the other contenders at the top of the list are the cities that I bet you would guess. Pick some. Highest percentage of the population college educated, BA. New York is certainly in the top 10 or so. Do I know you?
Boston.
Okay, Boston, large student population. You look familiar. Large student population. Boston's in the top, maybe second or third, something right up there. No. No.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, Seattle. Those are the big ones. So this is a long way of getting to your question and saying, look, if the engine of your state economy is the city with the lowest percentage of college graduates in America, you absolutely have to focus on education at all levels. Ed Glazer, who's an urban economist at Harvard University, did an extensive, elaborate study. That was one of the first things we read in our class. Do you remember what his bottom line finding was? Robin, help you out. Do you remember the Ed Glazer's thing about...
Jeremy's in the class too.
I know he is, but he was giving me the deer in the headlight look, and it's late in the day. Do you remember anything about that? He said about our city's dying, and we talked about that some.
Oh no, well, they're not.
All right. There are two, actually, the two big drivers of success are, number one, climate. I mean physical climate. Now that we have options, cold cities, other things being held equal, have a bigger challenge than more temperate places do. And the other big driving variable is education. Well-educated cities have a big advantage over poorly educated cities. So here we are in a place that has crappy weather and the lowest percentage college graduates of any big city in America. We cannot do much about the weather. We must do a lot about education on all levels. And I'm going to focus on Detroit because back with the Chicago and everything, if Detroit fails, the rest of the state will not work. It's not the case that you can have everything else in Michigan will be fine and Detroit is a whole. It won't work that way. So it is in the interest of the entire state to make sure that Detroit works. It has percentage of high school graduates, or the percentage of young adults who graduate from high school today, these days, is less than 50%. Okay. The majority of young people in the city of Detroit do not make it out of high school. And even those who do come out with about 8th grade reading and math scores on average. So we need to do things at education level for young people, including starting out right at the very beginning. There's, what is it, Waiting for Superman? Is that the movie that's coming out about education, everything like that? And some of it, I haven't heard, but features Jeffrey Canada, Harlem Children's Zone in New York City. Harlem Children's Zone is called, which is very successful in Harlem, in neighborhoods with the same kind of income characteristics, concentrated poverty characteristics as many of the neighborhoods in Detroit, is very successful in getting kids into school, staying in school, graduating from high school, going on to college. The secret strategy is simple to say, but extremely difficult to do. And the secret strategy is the name, Harlem Children's Zone. Everything in the zone, everything in the neighborhood is focused on getting kids into school, staying in school, succeeding, graduating, going on to college. Everything. Neighborhood safety, the local businesses, the families, everything is, the museums and hospitals and things, everything is focused on that goal. So they start at age 0. Expectant mothers go to classes at Harlem Children's Zone so that they will learn how to raise their children and develop the cognitive capacities of their babies from birth. We know from studies that this is an education course, we know from a lot of research and so forth that by age 3, there's already a huge gap between kids who grow up in neighborhoods of high concentrated poverty on the one hand, and I expect the neighborhoods that everybody in this room grew up in on the other. Okay. At the beginning, when they walk in the door to preschool, there's already a gap. And the longer they stay in school, the bigger the gap becomes. So you have to start from the beginning, from even before the beginning. And then K-12 education that works, and then, because we cannot write off the huge adult population that is unemployed, unemployable, wants to work, wants to learn, but isn't able to. We also had to focus on adult education. You asked the right, there's one piece I left out of my little intro. I go to Detroit 2-3 times a week. In principle, the last 3 years or so, principally as an